going on, everybody? Today is lesson 2.2. It is about using health information. Here are your key terms on the right side. The learning outcomes. So after this chapter's lesson is over, we would like for you to know: explain how to locate reliable sources of health information, use criteria to evaluate whether a source of health information is reliable, apply reliable health information to make healthy decisions, and communicate health information with your family and the community. Okay, so the first thing that we want to talk about is one of the vocab words. It's health literacy. That is defined as ability to locate, evaluate, apply, and communicate information pertaining to health. So let's say that you get stung by a wasp. Okay, your health literacy is to use information that you know from the past to find a reliable solution to that wasp sting. What should I do? So you get stung. If you use your health literacy to get online, find a reliable website that has information on how to properly treat that wasp sting, that is being health literate. And the same thing goes for more serious things and even less serious things than a wasp sting. Could pertain to diet, could pertain to physical exercise, etc. All right. So you need to find good information. You need to know the questions to ask, things of that nature. And part of that is going to lead into this word called health literacy. So we want you to be a health literate person. Moving on to the next. So locating health information. This is a big part of health literacy, is knowing where to look. So websites, newspapers, magazines, TV, and radio shows often share health-related information. So, like it says in this stanza here, some of that information is going to be true, and some of it could be biased and misleading. So you have to be careful where you get this information. Radios, my own father oftentimes will say, I heard this on the radio, that causes cancer. Okay, well, anybody can say something causes cancer on the radio. Did they back it up with some information of where that research came from? That's very important. So right here you will see URLs, stems that indicate reliable sources of information include .gov, .edu, and .org. So if that leaves out the most popular one, right? That's .com. If you want to make a website, you could easily make a .com website and post anything on there. You could post that chocolate cake is a good breakfast food and helps you lose weight. That does not make it true because it's on the internet or a .com website. So when you're sharing Facebook posts and you're reading things online, make sure if it's from a .com, you really take that with a grain of salt because it could be unreliable. .gov, .edu, and .org websites are generally nonprofit, or they have peer-reviewed research in order to have that domain name. So .gov is obviously sponsored by our federal government. .edu is generally a college or higher learning institution, and .org is often nonprofit. So the information there is often backed up by other professionals that have experience, other doctors, someone with a bachelor's degree in that field, someone with a master's degree in that field, or like I said, doctorate. Somebody else that has training and credibility in that field can back up that information and will. Therefore, it can be on that type of website. That's why those domain names are important. So when you're looking things up online, look for those three endings. Okay? Look at my notes here. So, when you're locating this information online, let's say that you're looking up something about vaccines. So you want to look for websites that aren't necessarily promoting a single cause. Perhaps the website that you went to is talking about how vaccines are bad for you and cause things as, like autism or whatever else. They're saying that vaccines are bad. A lot of times they will only give one side of the story. They won't give any benefit or any other information about the other side as why vaccines would be a good option or their actual purpose. A lot of times they will just say that they are, used for a malicious reason, something like that, okay? So be wary of websites that are also promoting products, okay? So if you're on a website and you're looking up something about a certain type of medicine, let's say a fat burning pill or something to help you reduce weight, or let's say you're looking up the topic to reduce weight, okay? A good website would talk about different things you can try with your diet, exercise, etc. A bad website would be Hydroxycut or something like that that says take this fat burning pill. It will help you lose weight. You don't have to exercise. You don't have to diet. Okay? That would be a website that is trying to promote a product, so they're going to tell you biased opinions. Or it could be something a little less noticeable. It could be a product that actually might benefit a little bit from real information. However, they are still selling a product, so be careful there. If someone's trying to sell you something and giving you information, or the information's coming from a business or somebody that's making money, they have a bias to alter the information to get money out of your pocket. Okay, so that's looking up health information. Okay, back to kind of what I was talking about, Hydroxycut, where you don't have to work out, you just got to take this pill. You got to look at these little quotes right here. So get six-pack abs in 2 weeks. Okay, that is a very vague statement. If you're somebody that is 500 pounds, there is no possible way, no matter what diet you do, that you could possibly have six-pack abs in 2 weeks. Okay, everybody has six-pack abs, but they are covered by certain amounts of fat. All right. And if it comes down to it, some people who are very borderline or a lower body fat percentage could possibly have six-pack abs in 2 weeks if they do a hardcore diet and work out 7 days a week. That is possible. That's for somebody that's like right on the borderline. Okay, six-pack abs usually start showing up around 12%, 10% body fat. So if you're somebody right in that 13% range, yeah, that's possible. But if you're somebody that is listed as obese at 30% body fat, that's impossible. It's too vague. You'll catch a cold if you go outside with wet hair. That's a old kind of wives' tale that we've heard. There is a little science. It's just not quite as cut and dry. There's some arguments that could be true. So you really got to look up two different sides there, because it's not necessarily, you're not necessarily taking in more germs when you're outside and you're wet, but it could be that your immune system is not at its best because your body temperature could be lower, so you might not be protecting yourself as well. So there's a little bit more to look up there, right? Something else, cell phones cause brain cancer. That is a possible thing, but who knows? Those are all statements that you got to look up and kind of weigh the information that you're taking in. Caffeinated energy drinks will make you perform better on exams. Again, it might give you mental stimulation, but there could be side effects along there. Well, it might slow you down and make you be more jittery and think unclearly. Okay, so when evaluating health information, you want to use science. You guys have science classes. So science is basically made up of three things. Based on experimentation and observation, it's peer-reviewed, which means other people have looked at it. So if I'm Dr. Davidson, which I am not, just have a bachelor's, and let's say I am a doctor, I look at a piece of information and I make a statement about it, and I come out with some research. That does not make it peer-reviewed until another doctor comes on and does some looking into whatever I say, and they also agree with my experiments, and they use their expertise and put their name on the line to say that it could be true. Repeatable, it has to be confirmed by other scientists who conduct the same experiment. So if I come on and I make a statement, they have to be able oftentimes to do the same experiment again and see that they came out with the same results. Okay? Because there's weird variations that happen. If you can't repeat it to where it's consistently the same result, then it's not really science. It's just kind of a chance thing. So that's not how that works. Okay? So science is a body of knowledge based on observation and experimentation. Okay? So it's doing the same experiment over and over again and getting the same results until it seems as if there is a good cause and effect there. So that's science, and that's what you need to apply when looking up health information. Is it something that is continually happening? Pseudoscience. So pseudoscience is like fake science, theories and health claims that are described as science-based when they are not. So it's kind of like being something that you are not. You're lying. They're lying. It's saying that it's based on science, but it's not true. Things you have to consider is it's not peer reviewed, like it says right here. So it doesn't have other people that come in and look at it. It's one person saying it, or someone with a motive, like selling you something, might make it up. So is the source of information reliable? Is it a current piece of information? Did it happen in the last few years, or is it from 1932? If it's from 1932, it could be outdated. Back in the early times of medicine, they thought that drilling a hole in your head and letting out the bad blood was a good practice. Now we obviously know that that's not a good practice. So is the information current? Is the information applicable to my life stage and situation? Does the article refer to research that's been published by medical scientists? Does the article give the names of other researchers who have had their hand in it? So if it doesn't give other people's names that you could actually look up and see if they're a credible scientist or a real life doctor, then it could be totally false. So look for the pieces of information that have all that information. Let me look at my textbook real quickly. So if you were to look at the front of this textbook that we have, you probably can't see it very well, but it says Health Skills 3rd edition, Catherine A. Sanderson, PhD, and it says what college she went to. Next to that, it has Mark Zellman, PhD, what college he went to. Then it has pedagogy developers below it. Those are people that deal with actual education. The first two people were the science-based, and the other people are educators. So they're professional educators that go through, and they all have their college institutions, their credibilities listed out here so that you know that there are real people with actual training that made a book like this, okay? And oftentimes, you'll see a lot more of this throughout the pages themselves. So sometimes you'll be reading something and it will say, according to so-and-so from such university, 1984, that could be like a citation inside a piece of literature that you're reading. Okay, so that's pseudoscience. It's someone trying to sell you something that might not be true. Bigfoot could be a part of pseudoscience. It's not something that's been repeatable enough to have been confirmed when being studied. And the same thing will go for health information, whether it's like a magic thing to make you get super slim, get six-pack abs, grow back your hair if you're a bald guy, whatever, one of those things. Okay? So it's kind of like a Facebook profile. If somebody adds you and you're like, who is this person? You're going to get on the profile and you're going to look up to see if other people have actually communicated with them. Who do they know? If nobody's actually communicated and it's just like a bunch of random people commenting on their photos saying, wow, you're so pretty, da 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 da, and there's no like actual, it seems like meaningful conversation, then it's probably not a real thing. So same things goes with other fake profiles. It's like a pseudoscience almost, but you got to do that when you're looking for health information. Like, who are they connected to? Who do they know? Is it a real thing? Okay, lifelong learner. That's a vocab word. It's about practice of always seeking to gather new information and learn new skills. That's a big thing. Always be ready to learn new things. You're going to learn new things throughout your whole life. Consumer. I got about a minute and 20 seconds to talk about. It's anyone who purchases goods or services. So you have a lot of responsibilities when you're a consumer to not get duped and not waste your hard-earned money on stupid things. Okay, when you're buying things, especially food and supplements, there's this thing called the Food and Drug Administration. They give a seal of approval through science whether something is generally safe to eat or consume and actually put inside your body. Consume could mean buy, but also consume could also mean like eating, like you're consuming that food. If you see a nutrition label on the back of something, it has usually, from my understanding, been approved by the Food and Drug Administration. If it says nutrition label, if it says supplement label, it has not necessarily been approved by the FDA, and that's why it says supplements. Okay, and they can use supplements and say whatever they want with no harm, no foul. But to have the FDA approve it, it would have a nutrition label. Okay, so if by law, if their product has not been approved by the FDA, it has to say this product has not been approved by the FDA. If you ever heard those really fast talkers at the end of the commercials, sometimes they'll be like running through it and just throw that in there. There's something on health fraud down here. By law, you can't sell any goods or services that don't actually do what you say that they do. Okay, that's pretty much it. There's